今天就当作但就那没办法都不做。从这几个旁人不就都不是下，就是的，但不就讲说3年多年才能就年度300，相亲照的都900当这的过年300这，为度化天下无边无际的有情众生，速得无上正等觉圆满佛果，请大家发广大殊胜的菩提心，以及方便广大密咒神动机，并且如理如法的谛听。
Please listen to the teaching by cultivating the 2 aspects of supreme motivation, the vast intention of the Mahayana Bodhichitta, and the vast method of sacred mantra Vajrayana, so it's about to lead all sentient beings as limitless as space to the state of the unsurpassed Buddhahood.
那我们接下来呢，继续讲入菩萨行论。那入菩萨行论里面呢，我们一共有10个10品里面呢，我们前2品已经讲完了，现在呢是第3品。第3品主要就是让我们的相续当中升起菩提心的部分。那升起菩提心的部分，这里面呢上面我们已经讲了一部分了，今天呢就是上面我们已经讲了一部分，主要就是帮助我们相续当中升起菩提心的一些修心的或者积累资粮的这些部分之前我们已经讲完了。
So today we'll be continuing on the teaching, the guide to Bodhisattva way of life. There are 10 chapters within this teaching, and we have finished the first 2 chapters. And today we'll be continuing on the 3rd chapter. The 3rd chapter is mainly talked about allowing our Mindstream to arouse Bodhicitta. Previously in this chapter, we have talked about some of the factors or the method of accumulating merits that are necessary for us to arouse Bodhicitta in our Mindstream.
那现在呢，就是说是正行为什么这里说是正行呢？现在今天这里开始讲的，这里就是主要是怎样受持菩萨戒，怎么样传这个菩萨戒的这个部分。那我们要作为一个大乘的修行者的话，我们不但是需要发菩提心，而且需要受持菩萨戒所以呢，当有了这个菩萨戒，那你才是真正的这个大乘的修行者所以呢，以上我们讲的就是怎么样让我们的相续当中能够升起这个菩提心，然后呢可以受这个菩萨戒的部分今天呢就是正式要受戒呢要怎么样受这个部分呢
So today we'll begin the actual practice. That is the next topic in this chapter. And why do we say it is the actual practice? Because here today, it is merely begin on talking about how to adopt or uphold the Bodhisattva precept. As a Mahayana practitioner, we not only need to arouse Bodhicitta, but we also need to receive and uphold the Bodhisattva precepts. Only then you're able to consider yourself as a Mahayana practitioner. So previous teaching have talked about how to arouse Bodhicitta and other factors, and today we'll be begin by talking about what is, the actual taking or actual upholding of the Bodhisattva precepts.
那在这里呢，我们首先要知道，就是说，那菩提心跟菩萨戒的差别是什么？什么叫做菩提心？那什么叫做菩萨戒这个呢我在这里跟大家介绍一下。
So today, first we need to know what is the difference between Bodhicitta and then Bodhisattva precept. What is what we refer as Bodhicitta? What is it we are referring as the Bodhisattva precept? So here I'll give introduction.
那这个呢，在门罗钦就是一个藏地的高僧大德他曾经讲了这个的差别。门令罗钦，罗钦就是大意是。
So a great master in Tibet, Minlin Lochin, have gave teaching on what is the difference here.
那我们菩提心里面，我们不是有一个愿菩提心和行菩提心吗？首先是愿菩提心，愿菩提心是什么呢？愿菩提心就是我愿一切，我为了 度化一切有情众生，我一定要成佛的这样的一个愿力，这样的一个愿望，这叫做愿菩提心。
So Bodhicitta, previously we have talked about there is the aspiration Bodhicitta and application Bodhicitta. So here first, the aspiration Bodhicitta refers to this aspiration or the wish that to benefit all sentient beings, I must attain Buddhahood. So this wish, this aspiration, we are referring to as the aspiration Bodhicitta.
然后呢，愿菩提心的就是菩萨戒是什么呢？就是说，当你有这样的一个愿力的时候呢，然后你打自内心的承诺或者发誓，我永远不要失去这样的这个愿力的这个念头，这个决心。
And what is Bodhisattva precept is that once you have this wish, this aspiration, once you made this aspiration, and then you have this genuine commitment to never ever lose this aspiration, never ever lose this goal, and this is what we refer to as the Bodhisattva precept.
就是说，为度化天下一切有情众生，我一定要成佛。所以我这样的这个愿力，我永远不要失去，我永远要 keep 住这样的一个愿力这个就是在愿菩提心的戒。
So it means that here, for to benefit all sentient beings, I must attain Buddhahood. So thereby, I would never ever lose this aspiration. I must keep this aspiration, this commitment at all time. So this is what we're referring to as the Bodhicitta precept, Bodhisattva precept.
然后呢，行菩提心行菩提心，愿菩提心或行菩提心是什么样呢？行菩提心就是为了度化天下一切有情众生成佛，我要为了他们，我要成佛。所以我要成佛的话，我要开始行持六般若波罗蜜多六度，我要开始做行持实修这个六度这样的话这就是行菩提心。
And then the application Bodhicitta, here application Bodhicitta means that to benefit all sentient beings, for them to attain Buddhahood, I must first attain Buddhahood. So thereby, I must begin by practicing the 6 transcendence or the 6 paramitas. So this is what we're referring to as the application Bodhicitta.
然后呢，在那样的一个决心、一个愿、一个就是行菩提心的基础下，然后呢，以这个仪轨，或者是在上师面前等等，这样来就受这个菩萨戒的话，这叫做行菩提心的菩萨戒，菩萨的学处这样。菩萨戒。
And then with this such determination, and also this determination as an application Bodhicitta as the basis, and then also with the proper sadhana or in front of Guru to take upon this Bodhisattva precept. This is the Bodhisattva precept with the application Bodhicitta.
所以呢，这个就是愿菩提心、行菩提心和愿菩萨戒和行菩萨戒的差别。菩提心跟菩萨戒的就是差别是这样。
So these are the difference between the aspiration Bodhicitta and application Bodhicitta, as well as the aspiration Bodhisattva precept and application Bodhisattva precept.
然后这个受菩萨戒的时候呢，受菩萨戒传承有两个传承，一个是来自龙树菩萨的传承，一个是来自无住菩萨的传承。
So regarding the Bodhisattva precept, there are 2 lineage. One is from Nagarjuna, the one's from Asanga.
那龙树菩萨是从释迦牟尼佛传到文殊菩萨，文殊菩萨到龙树菩萨这样传下来的。然后呢，无住菩萨是释迦牟尼佛传给弥勒菩萨，弥勒菩萨到无住菩萨这样传下来的。
And the lineage of Nagarjuna is starting from the Buddha of Shakyamuni to Manjushri, and then to Nagarjuna. And then the Asanga's lineage is from the Buddha Shakyamuni to the Maitreya, and then to Asanga.
然后龙树菩萨的这个传承里面呢，它是愿菩提心跟行菩提心的戒是同时可以接受的，同时受不需要分开受。然后呢，无住菩萨的话，它是分开受先受愿菩提心，然后再受行菩提心这样它是可以分开的。
The lineage from the Nagarjuna is that you can receive both aspiration and application Bodhisattva precept at the same time. The Asanga lineage, on the other hand, it can be received separately. First, the aspiration Bodhisattva precept, and then the application of Bodhisattva precept.
然后入行论这里受菩萨戒的这个呢是一起受的，就是愿跟行菩提心一起受的这个戒，因为这是从龙树菩萨传到寂天菩萨这样传承下来。
And then here in the Guide to Bodhisattva Way of Life, the receiving of the Bodhisattva precept is such that the aspiration and application are both received at the same time, as the lineage was coming from Nagarjuna to Shantay.
然后呢，受这个菩萨戒呢，它也是有就是怎么说呢？有3个传这个是菩萨戒的上师，他需要3个条件。
And in order to bestow the Bodhisattva precept, this guru must satisfy 3 requirements.
第一个条件呢，他自己要有菩萨戒。
The first criteria is that this guru, him or herself, must have the Bodhisattva precept.
第二个呢，是他要通达大乘法。
And then the second is the thorough knowledge of the Mahayana teaching.
第3个条件呢，是他在传的过程当中，弟子们要听懂他在讲什么，全部能够沟通。
The third criteria is that throughout the process of bestowing the precept, the disciple must be able to understand what he or she is saying. There must be a clear communication.
所以这3个条件是就我们要这个具备的，就是传戒的上师。
So these 3 criteria are required in order for the teacher or guru to bestow Bodhisattva precept.
传戒的方式也有3种。
The method to bestow the Bodhisattva precept also have 3 types.
应该说是受戒的方式，应该说受戒的方式。
And there are 3 ways to receive the Bodhisattva precepts.
第一个方式就是在上师的座下受这个菩萨戒。
The first type is to receive the Bodhisattva precepts in front of the guru.
好，第二个方式呢，就是在像非常有加持力的这个佛像这样的面前自己受菩萨戒。
And second is one statue with enormous blessings or a very strong blessing to receive the precept yourself.
第3个的话就是就算是也没有上师，也没有这样殊胜的这个有加持力的佛像的话，如果是自己的这个信心和观想能力很强的话，在自己前面虚空中观想诸佛菩萨，然后自己念诵这些仪轨，然后受菩萨戒也可以的。
The third type is that if there's no guru or no statue with immense blessing, then if your devotion and visualization is up to par, then you can visualize in front of you the Buddhas and Bodhisattva and then recite the sadhana yourself and able to receive the precept. That is also acceptable.
然后我们得到菩萨戒的主要的意义是什么呢？我们要有菩提心，没有菩提心的话，菩萨戒得不到。
And the condition for us to able to receive Bodhisattva precept is that we must have Bodhicitta in our Mindstream.
好，那我们就是升起刚刚菩提心是愿菩提心，至少要愿菩提心。
The Bodhicitta that we just said referring to the aspiration Bodhicitta.
让我们能够升起菩提心的因素，主要因素有5种。
For us to arouse this bodhicitta, there is actually 5 main factors.
第一个呢是依止善知识就是 具象的善知识。
The first is to follow a qualified spiritual teacher.
第二个呢，就是自己本来就是菩萨种性，有这个种性。什么叫做种性？我们一切众生都有如来种性，但是呢，在自己的上一辈子，自己真正的也接触过佛法，然后积累过很多的资粮，所以今生就很容易就能够升起这样的愿菩提心，这叫佛的那个菩萨的种性。
So here the second one is having the term Bodhisattva caste. It means that in the previous life you accumulate much merits and done much of positivity in that this life that you have this condition that's already satisfied.
第三种呢，就是积累资粮就是尽量的能够自己在今生不管以什么样的方式能够只要有机会就尽量的积累资粮。
And then the third is to accumulate merits, whether in any of the method, whenever you opportunity, then if you're able to accumulate merits, then that will be one of the factors for the aroused bodhicitta.
第四个呢，就是广闻大乘法就是大乘的教法，常常闻思大乘的法。
And then the fourth one is constantly of learning of Mahayana teaching, learning and contemplating the teaching of the Mahayana vehicle.
然后第五个呢，就是反反复复的修四无量心修这个慈悲喜舍这些，就是反反复复的努力的修。
The fifth one is continuously practice the four boundless qualities, the boundless of impartiality, love, compassion, and sympathetic joy. That you continue to practice these four boundless or four immeasurables.
这五种呢，就是让我们在心灵相续当中升起菩提心的五种因素。
So these are the five factors that will actually allow us to arouse bodhicitta in our mind stream.
然后呢，在这里那个龙树菩萨传这个菩萨戒的时候呢，他有菩萨戒里面也分三种戒条。
And here, Nagarjuna, when bestowing the Bodhisattva precept, there are also 3 precepts.
不应该说是只是龙树菩萨，就是总共的菩萨戒里面可以分成3种这样。
Actually, correction. In overall, the Bodhisattva precept can be categorized into 3 precepts.
第一个呢，就是上等根基的人，上等根基的这个菩萨戒条呢，是龙树菩萨讲的。这个上等根基的这个菩萨戒条可以说有20条戒。
The first type for the utmost faculty of Bodhisattva precept, for the utmost highest faculty, as taught by Nagarjuna, there are actually 20 of these precepts.
然后中等根基的就是按照这个无住菩萨讲的里面，他说中等根基的可以受菩萨戒8条菩萨戒。
And then the second type is the middle faculty, based on the Asanga, that there's 8 types of Bodhisattva precepts.
那下等根基的话，就是佛在这个经典里面所讲的为国王制定的，就是1种菩萨戒。
And then the lowest faculty is, as told by for the king, is the 1 Bodhisattva precept.
Buddha Shakyamuni told.
As told by Buddha Shakyamuni. For the king, there's only 1 Bodhisattva precept.
所以呢，整个菩萨戒呢有3种不一样。
So in terms of the Bodhisattva precepts, there's 3 different types or 3 different levels.
所以呢，受这个菩萨戒呢，就跟别解脱戒不一样。你可以选择，你可以守哪些戒条，然后你就守哪些戒条就可以了。
So it is different from the taking a Patimokkha vow, that you can choose depending on which one you can uphold.
比如说你想我只能受1条戒你就受1条戒，你受这个菩萨戒。然后呢，你想我能够守这个8条，那你就心里想这个8条我可以受，然后受这个菩萨戒。如果你可以守20条戒的话，你想我要受20条戒，然后再受这个菩萨戒。
For example, if you feel like you can only uphold this 1 precept, then you can do so. If you wish to uphold 8 precepts, then you can uphold that. and also 20 if you like.
但是呢，这些每一条戒，这个菩萨戒都是受这些的前提，就是我们要有一个愿菩提心，是一定要的。没有愿菩提心都没有的话，我们受戒可能也很难得到这个菩萨戒。
But here, in terms of every Bodhisattva precept, the basis or the criteria is that we must have first the aspiration Bodhicitta. Without it, we wouldn't be able to truly able to obtain or receive this precept.
那我们在这里讲一下，那这三种是哪三种菩萨戒呢？首先我们讲第一种就是这个下等根基的下等根基的菩萨戒是什么呢？
So here we'll begin talk about the three types of the Bodhisattva precepts as we mentioned. So the first will be the precept for the lowest faculty.
下等根基的话，要受这个菩萨戒了，它要具备两个条件。
So for the lowest faculty, the person must satisfy two criteria.
第一个条件，它是要有坚定不移的一个愿力，说我要为了度化一切众生成佛的这个愿力，他要有。
The first criteria is that this person must have this unshaken aspiration or determination to benefit all sentient beings for them to attain Buddhahood.
而且这个念头是要来自于慈悲心。
And this aspiration must come from compassion.
好，第二个就是刚刚那个是我一定要利益众生的这个念头，还不是成佛哈，一定要利益众生的这个念头，然后呢，利益众生的念头，而是来自于慈悲心。
Okay, so the just the correction is just that they must have this unshaken aspiration to benefit sentient beings. This aspiration comes from the compassion.
然后第二个呢，就是为了这个我一定要成佛。
And then the second criteria is for this purpose, I must attain Buddhahood.
这样的话，就是这两个原则下面呢，就可以受这个下等根基的这个菩萨戒。
And with these two criteria satisfied, then you're able to uphold the Bodhisattva precept of the lowest faculty.
然后呢，在这个里面，这个菩萨戒它只有一条，就是这个愿菩提心的这个菩萨戒，它这里面就没有这个行菩萨这个菩提心的菩萨戒了，只有愿菩提心的菩萨戒。
So here, there's only one precept, which is the aspiration Bodhisattva precept. There's no application Bodhisattva precept in this type.
那他的戒条要守持的是什么呢？他要守的就是常常不能舍去这个愿菩提心。不但不能舍去愿菩提心，而且呢，就是他将这个受这个愿菩提心这个功德或者不舍去这个，然后呢，就是对诸佛菩萨所做的一切功德升起随喜一切诸佛菩萨的功德。
And then what is the precept to uphold? The precept is to never renounce the aspiration Bodhicitta and also rejoice in the virtues of all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas.
然后呢，再将他随喜的这些功德供养诸佛菩萨。
And then with the merits of the rejoicing to offer that to the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas.
然后再将这个功德祈祷诸佛菩萨回向一切众生。
And then with this merit, then to pray to request Buddhas and Bodhisattvas to dedicate this merit to all sentient beings.
这个就是一条菩萨戒的，就是下等根基的菩萨戒，就是这样。
This is the Bodhisattva precept for the lowest faculty.
然后第二个就是中等根基的菩萨戒。
The second is the Bodhisattva precept for the middle faculty.
中等根基我们刚刚说就是有8条嘛哈。
There are 8 precepts as we just told.
这8条的话，它在这个里面呢，它的动机非常重要它的动机。
So here in this type, the motivation is actually very important.
前2个就是所谓的这个8条，也可以归纳成6条或者4条，但是呢，我们详细分开的话是有8条。
So the 8 precepts can actually, the 8 precepts can actually categorized into 6 or 4, but here if it's going to be detailed, then it will be 8.
这里说，为了自己得到财产，或者是为了自己得到别人的恭敬，然后呢，称赞自己，然后诋毁他人。
And then here, one of it is for this purpose of attaining wealth, or for the purpose of attaining wealth for oneself, or the respect from others, then to commemorate oneself and to disparage others.
这个是要有完完全全就是为了自己的。不管你有功德或是没有功德，这个没有差别的，只要是为了要得到这个财产和别人的恭敬，然后就是为了这个，完完全全是为了这一个观点，然后呢就是常常称赞自己，然后呢就是诋毁他人的话，这个就是破了这个菩萨戒。这是第二种菩萨戒破戒的2个因素。我刚刚说就是说这2个呢，我们如果是算成8条戒的时候，这2个就是分开算的，所以就是称赞自己算是1条戒，诋毁他人是第2条戒这样。
So here, again, so this motivation is truly just really for your own selfish intent, whether you have virtue or not. As long as your own intention to obtain wealth for yourself and then respect of others, and then for this motivation that you always constantly commemorate yourself and disparage others, then this is the transgression of the Bodhisattva precepts. Here, that if you want to categorize into 8 precepts total in this type, the middle faculty, then here are 2 precepts. The one that you commemorate yourself, and then the second one that you disparage others.
像这些我们以下会讲的这些每一个戒条要破，它都需要具备4种条件。一个是对境，第2个是心态，第3个是行动，第4个是结果。这4个都具足了，就是真正的破戒了。其实这个是包括小乘的戒条也是一样的，它都需要具备这4种条件。
对境、动机、行动。
对。
So here, as we continue on, as we learn these precepts and how they are transgressed, this transgression must have 4 criteria to satisfy. That includes the subject, the motivation, the actions, and results. Only when these 4 criteria are satisfied, then it is considered as a transgression. And this is also applied to the Hinayana vows or Hinayana precepts.
那这里的比如说刚刚我们讲的这个的对境是什么呢？对境一定是个人，然后而且这个人呢是可以听得懂你讲的话的然后呢不是哑巴，不是聋子这样的话就也是不会破戒。但是这样一定要是一个人，然后你讲的他会听得到，而且他也可以讲给别人听的这样的一个对境。
For example, here in this precept, if the subject must be a person, but the person who is someone who understands you, someone who is not mute or deaf, and it must be a person who is able to understand and hear what you say, and he or she able to say it to others people.
然后就是心态就是动机嘛，就是完完全全是为了你要得到利益，而这样的一个心态，就是从你开始称赞自己到你称赞完过程当中，你这个心态或是发心都没有变，或者是你开始诽谤别人到诽谤完之间，你的心态都没有变，那动机就已经成立了。
So the motivation is the selfish intent, the intention to benefit your own self. So from the beginning, you commemorate yourself until you finish, as long as the motivation has not changed, then this criteria is satisfied. And also when you disparage others, from the beginning you disparage others until you finish, this motivation has also not changed, then this criteria will also be met.
这个就是你在称赞自己的这个过程当中，你的心态都没有变的话，那第二个我们所说的动机，动机就已经成立了。但是你刚开始称赞自己的几句，然后发现，哎，我这个好像不对，然后你马上停下来的话，这也不会破戒。
So this is when you are the motivation when you're commemorating yourself. That if throughout the whole time you're commemorating yourself that the motivation has not changed, then the transgression has occurred. However, if you begin to commemorate yourself, and then in the middle realize that this is wrong, and then you stop, then you will not have committed transgression.
然后第三个就是行动，那行动就是你讲的过程当中就行动了。
Third is action. Action is the process that you are talking about it.
那结果就是你讲的东西别人听懂了啊，就结果就已经成了。
The result is that what you have said that other people understood. That was the result.
这就是前两条戒，然后接下来的一条戒是什么？接下来的这两个也是两条戒，分开的话就是两条，然后如果是减少的话，就是可以算成一条戒。这是什么呢？因为吝啬心啊，就是因为吝啬心不布施财产，或是不做财布施和法布施。
So these are the two precepts. And then the next precept, if you separate them two, and if you separate them, then there's two. But if you combine them, it's one. And then this is as follows: that you do not engage in the practice of generosity of wealth or the practice of generosity of Dharma teaching because of your own stinginess. So that is the precept that was the yeah.
那这里也是要具备这个四个条件。第一个条件就是对境。
And here you also must satisfy the 4 criteria in order to have a complete transgression. The first is the subject.
然后这个对境，第一个对境的这个比如说是财布施的对境的话，如果这个对境是真正的很需要这样的财产，然后呢，如果是你不布施给他的话，他很可能就是得不到这样的财产，就是得不到这顿饭，或者得不到他现在很需要的这个东西这样的情况下的话，这个对境就成立了。但是如果是就算你不给他，也可以在别的地方可以得得到啊，或者是别人你也不是很确定他真的需不需要这些啊，或者你就是现在有很多这样的对境，如果这样的话，就对境就不成立。
So here the subject here is that if it's the generosity of wealth, if it's the subject has to be someone who truly really needs this wealth or this type of or this monetary wealth, that if you do not give it to them, then they cannot obtain it elsewhere, whether it be a meal or something they really need. That if this is something that they really need and they cannot get it anywhere else, and if you don't give it to them, then this is the subject that this satisfies the criteria for the subject. But however, if this is a subject who is that if you don't give this monetary wealth to them or her, they can get it elsewhere, or you're not sure whether they really really need it or not, and because there are actually many of these subjects like this today, and then the criteria of this subject is not satisfied.
然后比如说法布施的对境的话，就是对方是真正的一心一意的想求这个法，而且呢，他是怎么说没有任何其他的意图，而是只是真正单纯的就是想求这个法，然后你也可以给他，但是对方也是这个法的容器，这样的情况下，你只是因为自己是就是吝啬，或者有些就是我这个法很好，不想传给他等等的，这样的话，这也是对境就是这个。
And in terms of generosity of Dharma teaching, if the subject has to be someone who truly wishes to seek this teaching without any other motivation. Someone who just really solely wants to receive this teaching, and then you are someone who can give it to them, and this person is also the proper vehicle to receive such teaching. So if you don't give it to them out of your stinginess, then that is transgression.
那心态的话，就是没有什么别的任何的心态，只是舍不得给，舍不得传，这样心态就已经具足了，成立了。
The motivation here is that there's nothing else but your own stinginess. You're not willing to give this monetary wealth or to pass down this teaching.
那行动的话，就是别人来求法或者来求财的时候，你不给，那行动就已经这个。
The action is that someone who came asking you for monetary wealth or asked to receive certain teaching, and you refuse.
结果就是你不给的时候，别人也就是打自内心的已经确定了得不到这个东西了，结果就成立了。
And the result is that not someone who's not once you said no, that person realized that they would not receive this monetary wealth or this Dharma teaching. So that is the result.
所以这个就是我们的已经4条戒了哈，4条了。我们按照8条来算的话，这就第4条了。
So there we have just talked about 4 precepts.
然后第5条就是殴打众生。
The 5th is the beating of sentient beings.
这里的殴打众生，它主要是指的人类。
So here refers to human beings.
对境就是一定是人类，跟我们就是同类的人这样。
Subject must be human beings, people like just human people.
那我们的心态就是没有什么别的，就是想要因为嗔恨心而想打。
The motivation is that wanting to beat the person due to anger.
然后呢，当然行动就是用去打的这个行动。
And the action is the actual beating itself.
那结果就是当真正的打到别人，别人痛了这样就是结果。
The result is that somebody have hurt because of the beating.
这个就是第5条了。好，第6条是什么呢？第6条是不接受别人的忏悔。
And the 6th is not accepting other people's confession.
那这个是怎么样呢？比如说以前一个人真正的曾经伤害过你，伤害过你，但是呢后来呢这个人他就真正的后悔了，然后呢他是真的不是假心假意，而是一心一意的想要对你忏悔。那这样来忏悔的话，如果不接受这个忏悔的话，这就是也是这个破了菩萨戒。第6条它就是。
The 6th is that, for example, when someone who had truly hurt you before, but then this person later on became regret of what he or she has done, and genuinely want to make confession to you, and if you don't accept that, then you have transgressed this Bodhisattva precept.
然后第7条是什么呢？第7条就是诽谤大乘法或者是设法就是这样的话就第7条。舍去，对。
this bit.
就是舍法，对，舍法，对，我的音比较不准
Now the 7th is disparage the Mahayana teaching or abandoning the Mahayana teachings.
这些全部都它是心态啦、结果这些都有的哈。这些的话就大致上大家仔细的思考一下就会知道，我们就不细讲了。这是第7条，然后第8条就是宣讲冒充正法的教义。这是什么呢？就是其实他讲的不是正法，然后他说他这个是正法，然后就冒充正法，然后就是宣讲这样就是不如法不是正法的东西，然后宣讲这是正法这样。
So in terms of the 7th, there's the motivation actions. Those are pretty self-explanatory if you just think about it. And then the 8th one is the spreading of false Dharma teaching or not the teaching that's not genuine, to impose false teaching to others.
这个就是8条。这个8条戒呢，这个就是中等根基为中等根基讲的就是8条戒。
So these are the 8 precepts, Bodhisattva precepts for the people for the level of middle faculty.
然后就是上等根基的人，上等根基的话，就是龙树菩萨讲的细分的话是20条，那归纳的话可以归纳成14条。
Then the next level is the level for the utmost highest faculty, as taught by Nagarjuna. That if you in detail, there are 20 precepts, but if you categorize it, there will be 14.
然后这里面第一条是什么呢？抢夺或者是偷窃三宝的财产。
The first one is to rob, steal the wealth of the or possessions of 3 jewels.
这个三宝大家都知道，我们就是佛法僧三宝，僧众的财产也好，或者我们比如说供在佛堂里面的财产也好，或者是就是说，总之就是供奉的，这是不是都属于三宝的这些东西？不管你是抢或者偷这些都是这个就是破那个菩萨戒这些都有他的心态，然后就是这个。对境，这里的对境就是三宝，然后心态就是想要想要那个夺取的心态，然后就行动就是正在夺取的，然后结果就是最后得到这个财产，这些都你们可以跟之上我讲的那样去看就看得懂了。
So here, the 3 jewels referring to the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, whether it's the Sangha, the wealth of the Sangha, or possessions of the Sangha, or the possession of the Buddha, Dharma, the things that are offered at the shrine. If you steal it or rob it, then it's transgression. The subject is the possessions of the 3 jewels. The motivation is wanting to steal or rob. Action is the actual robbing or stealing. And the result is the obtaining of these possessions. So these are all self-explanatory if you just follow the logic as I mentioned previously.
然后第2条就是舍法，就是刚刚我们已经讲过了，跟那是一样的，就是舍法。
And the second is abandoning the Buddha Dharma teaching.
然后第3条是伤害出家人，就是殴打出家人也好，或是杀害出家人也好，就是伤害出家人。
The third one is hurting the ordained sangha, whether it's beating or killing.
然后第4条是造5无间罪。
The fourth one is committing the 5 heinous crimes.
然后第5条是直持邪见。
Fifth one is holding the wrong view.
直持什么就叫邪见呢？就主要就是对因果轮回就是不相信因果轮回，然后就对这个产生邪见。
This is merely referring to the not believing the principle of cause and effect.
第6条是破坏村落。
The 6th is destroying villages.
村落知道大家说部落村落，我们最大的是城市，然后就是什么小镇，然后就是最下就是村落等等，就是一个这样。
The 6th one is destroying villages.
然后第7就是对非法器传空性就是本来这个人对对空性没有什么这个信心，或者你传了空性他会怕，或者会诽谤空性的，这样就是非法器，所以对这样的人呢讲空性。
The 7th is giving the teaching of emptiness to someone who is not of such vehicle. So for example, someone who has no faith towards the teaching of emptiness, or someone who will be scared or will disparage such teaching.
然后第8条就是比如说一个人他本来就是一个大乘的佛教徒，然后呢就是讲东讲西，然后就让他从大乘里面退出来。
The 8th is causing someone to abandon the Mahayana path. For example, if someone is already a Mahayana practitioner, but if you say things, some stuff that cause that person to leave such the Mahayana path, then that is a transgression.
然后第9条呢，就是领人舍弃别解脱戒，就是比如说有人受了沙弥戒，有人受了这个比丘戒，就说受戒没有什么功德啦，或者受戒不怎么样了，或这样，然后就让他 想尽办法让他舍弃这个别解脱戒。
The ninth one is causing people to abandon the patimoksha vows, such as the novice monk vow or the bhikshu vows, by saying certain things that say, oh, that's not important. And if you cause them to abandon these vows, then this is a transgression.
第10条就是诽谤小乘教法、小乘佛法。
The 10th one is disparaging against Hinayana teaching.
然后第11就是刚刚我们讲的那个一样的，就是为了excuse me， 为了这个得到财产跟那个得到财产，然后就是称赞自己，然后诋毁他人，这里是第11条。
So here, for the purpose of 11th is to obtain for the purpose of obtaining wealth and to commemorate oneself and disparage against others.
然后第12条是妄说上人法，也就是说自己没有证悟这个大圆满，就说我证悟大圆满了，然后自己根本就是没有见过本尊，然后就说自己见到本尊，就是说这样的就是妄语。
The second one is saying lies, false lies. For example, for someone who has not attained the Dzogchen realization, but he or she claims that he or she did, or saying someone who did not see the Edom principal deity, but saying that they have already done, they did. So the saying of lies.
好，第13条就是取三宝的财产。那这上面我们不是第1条也是夺取三宝的财产吗？这个跟这个的差别是，上面那个是强制性的，强行的去就是夺或去抢夺或是去盗窃。那这里是想办法用就是其他的方法但是呢，最终他是要取夺这些财产这样。
The third is taking possession of 3 jewels. But here the difference from here and the first one is that the first one is done by force. Here this one is pertaining to using other types of methods to obtain the possessions of 3 wealth.
第14条呢是第14条它其实包括了2种，一个呢就是给僧众制定一些就是对僧众的戒律有害的一些规定。
So in the 14 ones are there's 2 parts. The first one is making rules that is harmful or detrimental to the precepts of the sanghas.
比如说每一个寺庙里面，当然就是这些出家众他本来就有自己的戒律，但是呢，在这个戒律之上，就是再给他们制定一些别的就是戒律规定，然后就是即使这个规定是对他们的文思修完全没有帮助，而且是对可以伤害他们的这样的规定，给僧众制定这样的规定。
For example, in the monastery where the ordained sanghas already have their own precepts, but on top of that, to make more rules, and these rules are not only not helpful for their path of learning, contemplating, practicing, but also actually harmful to them.
然后呢，就是第二个呢，就是故意把3位比丘以上，比如说3位比丘以下的他们的食物用品呢，就是供养给文思修的这样的这个行者，他们的财产是这样。
把他们财产给别人。
比如说是一般在寺庙里面，比如说有文思修的一个团体，然后有实修的这样的团体，就是有不一样的团体，他们的财产别人供养的都是不一样的。有些是我供养给这个，有些是我供养给这个，但是本来是这一个财产是属于这个实修的这个三位比丘的这样的财产，但是呢，他把这个财产呢给那个其他的文思修的这个团队。文思的这个团队不是修。
And then the second part is to give away food or possessions of one group of 3 bhikshu or less to another group. So for example, in a monastery, there's different groups of practitioners. There's the group that is actually engaged in the actual practice. There's the group that's engaged in learning, contemplating. So by taking this possession or food from one group, and that's considered 3 bishu or less, and then give it to another group, then that is the transgression.
这个算是一条，所以就是14条。
So these two parts consist of the 14th precepts.
然后在这个上面呢，只加2条，就是不舍弃愿菩提心和行菩提心。
And here, and on top of that, we add 2 more: not abandoning aspiration bodhicitta and application bodhicitta.
然后就是一共就16条。
And here are 16 precepts.
然后再有，那为什么说是有20条呢？因为这里面有国王的，佛给国王制定的有5条，然后呢，大乘的有5条，但是呢，国王的5条戒跟大乘的5条戒里面的4条是完完全全一样的，所以这里就如果说我们放成20条的话，其实有4个是重叠的，所以呢，就是分开的话可以分成20条，但是呢，不分开的话，其实就是这么多条。
So 这里就是这4条都是一样的。
有4条是一样的。
So here, why do we say 20? Because there are also 4 that's some of these there's 4 of these that mandated from Buddha Chakra community to a king, and then also mandated to the king's entourages. So if you don't repeat them, then there's only 16.
所以比如说如果分开的时候，国王的跟那个大乘的这个戒条分开的话，就一共是20条，这个就是上等根基的戒条。
So, for example, if you separate out between the precepts of the kings and entourage, then there are 20 total.
这一上来就是完完整整的，我今天把这个菩萨的戒条就跟大家介绍了菩萨的戒条有多少，然后呢，受戒的话有怎么样的受戒的方法，然后呢，受了戒的话是有怎么样可以受戒，这个全部讲完了。
So today I have completely introduced the Bodhisattva precepts, including how to receive the precept and how to uphold the precepts.
我记得菩萨的戒条以前我也讲过。
I believe I've taught the precepts before.
今天呢讲得更仔细一点。
Today I gave in a more detailed teaching.
在这里呢，就是今天我们在这里正行的时候，这里就是真正的受菩萨戒的时候。我们要在受这个菩萨戒的之前，我们就必须要清楚今天我讲的这些东西就是我要受菩萨戒的话，我们要受最简单的呢，或是中等的呢，或是就是上等根基的菩萨戒可以自己去选择。
So here, in order to before receiving Bodhisattva precept, we must have a clear understanding of what the precepts are, and thereby from that we can have this choice whether we want to receive the level of the lowest faculty or the middle faculty or the level of the highest faculty. That's entirely up to your own choice.
然后受菩萨戒也是，如果是有条件的话，最好是在一个具象的上师的座下受这个菩萨戒。如果是没有的话，在这个很有加持力的佛像的座下自己受菩萨戒。再也没有什么都没有的时候呢，在自己可以观想，然后受这个菩萨戒。
So in order to receive Bodhisattva precept, if available, the best situation is to receive it in front of a spiritual teacher or guru. If not, then it's in front of a statue of immense blessing. And if not, you can visualize in your own mind to receive this precept.
然后菩萨戒呢，不只是就是受一次，我们可以常常受菩萨戒。菩萨戒跟皈依是一样的，我们常常可以，就是说受过一次再受再受这样可以多受，常常可以受这个菩萨戒。
And regarding the Bodhisattva precept, this is something that you can constantly receive. It's still different from the precept of refuge. This is something that we can continue, if possible, to continue to receive and then adopt the Bodhisattva precepts.
那菩萨戒的受法是怎么样？念诵要什么样的仪轨呢？我们的日诵课本里面每次都在念诵的，这个就是受菩萨戒的仪轨。没有别的。
And in terms of the sadhana or what to recite, and that this sadhana is actually included in our daily recitation text. There's nothing else that's more than that.
那里我们就是每次在念诵，如果说我们具备了愿菩提心或这里面的条件的时候，然后在念诵那个的过程当中，一心一意的打自内心的这个 有那样的愿菩提心跟行菩提心的这样的决心的情况下念这个，然后就是在这个我们念诵的时候，我们每次都会得到这个菩萨戒，我们的菩萨戒一直在受这个菩萨戒。
So if we have the aspiration and as well as the application bodhicitta, as long as we have these criteria, and then when we recite these the sadhana, then we'll able to receive bodhisattva precepts every time we recite it.
好，那在这里呢，就是在讲我们要怎么样受这个菩萨戒。其实这里面今天讲的这些文字，全部都在我们的日诵课本里面有的东西。
We will begin today in the teaching of the text on how to obtain receive bodhisattva precept. These are all included in our daily recitation text.
你看这里说，如悉诸善事，先发菩提心，复此寻续住菩萨诸学处。那这里呢，如果说我们要在具象的善知识面前受菩萨戒也好，或者三宝所依的面前受菩萨戒也好，我们就是以念诵这一个，首先来受这个愿菩提心。
So here, just as written here, just as the Sugatas of the old adopted the spirits of awakening, and just as they properly conform to the practice of the Bodhisattva. So here, if we wish to receive the Bodhisattva precept, whether it's in front of our spiritual teacher or symbols of three jewel, this is what we first begin with.
你看这里是什么这个愿菩提心呢？就是往昔的这些善事诸佛菩萨们，他们怎么样发愿的？他们怎么样发愿，为了度化一切众生怎么样发愿，然后他们怎么样受持这个菩萨的学处的，我也如同一样的受持。这个前面这个4句这个就是我们的受这个愿菩提心的菩萨，愿菩萨戒的就是这个学处，这里就受了。我们要重复3遍，每次我们都在重复3遍的这个东西。
So here you can revise just as the Sugatas of the old, how they adopt the spiritual awakening, we will do so too. So here, this is how we receive the aspiration bodhicitta precept, aspiration bodhisattva precept, that we aspire just as how the Sugatas of the old, how they have done so, we will do the same. So whenever we recite this 3 times, and this is how we begin.
在我们的日诵课本的第19页，我们看到。
So here is actually page 19 of our daily recitation text.
然后我们在这个入行论的这个善说海里面，他这里说，首先念诵祈祷十方诸佛菩萨坠念我。那这里就我们在19页里面的刚开始，我们就是这一句说之那日别从阶动上觉三化，这一句就是祈祷十方30诸佛菩萨坠念我的部分。
So here in the commentary, that's the ocean of wisdom. Here it says that we first need to pray to all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas that we will have this aspiration. So just as mentioned here.
像这里说
daily recitation text.
祈请安住十方诸佛菩萨，诸佛处有怀，安住十地之菩萨大菩萨，乃即上师金刚持众念我。这个就是我祈请十方诸佛菩萨坠念我的部分就是首先念诵这一个，我们要受菩萨戒的话就是这样。
So here we recite that in the text that all you Buddhas who dwell in the 10 directions, all you great Bodhisattvas on the 10 levels, all you great teachers, the Vajra holders, turn your mind towards me, I pray. So here as we recite this, we first pray towards the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas to bless us.
然后呢，下面就是说，如是为利生，我发菩提心，复于诸学处次第请求学。
So here and then as it says that, 然后呢，下面就是说，如是为利生，我发菩提心，复于诸学处次第请求学。So here and then as it says that, just as we mentioned in the text, just as the Sugatas of the old adopts the spirit of awakening, just as they properly conform to the practice of the Bodhisattvas.
就是往昔的诸佛菩萨们，他们怎么样发菩提心，他们怎么样以次第性的修学这个菩萨的学处，我也一样，如同他们怎么样做，我也这样做。
And then continue, so I myself shall generate the spirit of awakening for the sake of the world, so I myself shall properly engage in those practice. So here it's meaning that just as how the Buddhas of the past have done and how they aspire Bodhicitta, how they adopt Bodhisattva precept, I too shall do the same.
所以这里呢，就是愿菩提心和行菩提心两个都有了前面的这个4句是愿菩提心，后面这个4句就是行菩提心。
So these two main verses have included the aspiration bodhicitta as well as the application bodhicitta.
所以呢，我们所说的真正受菩萨戒的话就是这样我们如果是有佛像面前受的话，首先在这个佛像诸佛菩萨面前就是摆殊胜的庄严的就是干净的这些贡品然后在这样之后呢，自己也是就是洗脸刷牙洗澡衣服全部穿得干干净净恭恭敬敬的然后呢在诸佛菩萨面前呢就是开始念诵这个仪轨就是这个仪轨里面怎么念诵的词句念诵，然后不但是念诵这个词句，而且它的意义心里面就是一边想着这个意义一边念诵这样。
So this is how we receive Bodhisattva precepts that we've done in front of the Buddha's statue. Then first we place all these clear, pure, solemn offering, and then we clean ourselves. And then we, with great respect, we will begin reciting the sadhana. And as we recite these words, we not only just recite, we also have this genuine thinking of all the meanings of the sadhanas.
然后这里受了菩萨戒之后，然后就是智者如是持，清净觉心意，复为增长故，如是赞发心就是有智慧的人受持了这样清净的菩提心，然后呢，最后呢就是赞颂这个菩提心的功德，也就是说有点像就是鼓励自己，或者是就是随喜自己这个发菩提心这样。
And then here it reads, upon gladly adopting the spirit of awakening in this way, an intelligent person should thus nurture the spirit in order to fulfill his wish. So here it's kind of like a self-encouragement or self-rejoicing of having this, making this, adopting this precept.
然后下面呢就是因承办自利而生欢喜。这里生欢喜，这里是首先有为自己生欢喜，然后众生生欢喜有2种，也他利自己而生欢喜。首先是今生勿护佛，善得此人生，复生佛家祖，今成如来子就是今天呢我不但得到了这个暇满的人生，而且已经变成了佛陀的家族如来子，也就是佛子了所以呢我应该要非常的高兴。为什么是佛子呢？佛是从哪里来的？我们在这个相关庄严论里面讲上就显化连重容，也就是说佛是从菩萨来的佛是从菩萨来的，菩萨是佛的子这样。所以这里说我已经变成了佛子，就是佛的子就是菩萨，所以呢已经变成了佛的种性所以今天我应该很高兴，这是为了自己生欢喜。
And then it reads that, and then the next part is to have the sense of joy for oneself and then as well as others. So here the joy of oneself is that, as it reads, now my life is fruitful, human existence is well attained. Today I have been born into the family of the Buddhas. Now I am a child of the Buddha. So here it says it means that not only I am able to have this advantageous human life, but I have also become a child Buddha. I should be very happy. So why does it say child? So here, why we say we are the child of Buddha? Where does the Buddha come from? So in the teaching by the ornament of realization, it is said that Buddha comes from Bodhisattvas. So thus Bodhisattvas are the child of Buddha. So today, here it says that today I've become basically child Buddha, or referring as Bodhisattva, that we have become the part of the caste of the Bodhisattva.
而后我当为一夫佛种业嗔默忍无耻无垢尊种性，也就是说，我现在已经变成了佛的这个种性从今天以后呢，我要非常谨慎的，不要让我想得到的这样的一个非常清净好的这个种性呢被烦恼五毒污染就是要自己这样发觉下决心。
And then it says that thus whatever I do now should accord with the Bodhisattva family, and it should not be like a stain of this pure family. So here that means that now that I belong to the Buddhas and Bodhisattva caste, or here it says family, we vow to determine not to pollute this family or have caused any stain on this pure family.
那为什么呢？因为这个佛的种性能够得到，这是不可思议的，这是非常难得的。这里说犹如目盲人废具或执宝，生此菩提心，如是我何幸？就是我有多么幸运呢？这个珍宝就好像一个盲人在垃圾桶里面这垃圾箱里面寻到了一个宝物一样的，这是一个多么不可思议的一件事情，我已经得到了，那当然我要珍惜
So here we in order to be a caste of the Buddha or the family of the Buddha is something that's really inconceivable on how precious, how fortunate it is. Just as it reads that just as a blind man might find a jewel amongst heap of rubbish, so this spirit of awakening has somehow arisen in me. So here is to compare that if that's just like a blind person who found treasure in the pile of rubbish or garbage, how fortunate for that person is. Thus by this is just as fortunate, so I must treasure it.
下面就是承办利他而生欢喜灭死圣甘露，即此菩提心，除贫无尽藏，即此菩提心，了己最胜要，以此菩提心。所以这个菩提心是非常非常殊胜。他这里说第一个就是说我们可以灭除，或是我们可以一个人要死了让他复活的一个甘露一样的，这是什么呢？这也就是菩提心。然后贫穷的人要让他得到无尽的这个宝藏的，也是菩提心然后一个人生了疾病，然后就是没有办法治疗的，这样的话让他从这个疾病里面恢复的这个圣药也是菩提心。菩提心就是等于是这样的，所以是非常殊胜的。
And then there's the continue on the having joy of benefiting others. It is read that it is the Bodhicitta is the elixir of life, produced to vanquish death in the world. It is an inexhaustible treasure eliminating the poverty of the world. It is a supreme medicine that alleviates the illness of the world. It is the tree of the rest for being exhausted from wandering on the pathway of mundane existence. So here it's comparing to what Bodhicitta is like. Bodhicitta is just like the kind of like the Tutsi that is able to restore someone to come back alive from death to alive. It is just like for like a wealth and inexhaustible treasure to eliminate all the poverty, and it's just like a medicine that is able to cure all the illnesses. So this is how precious and how inconceivable is Bodhicitta is.
比如说我们在这个六道轮回里面就是有成千上万的，就是生生死死受很多很多的痛苦。但是呢，我们如果是具了菩提心的话， 我们可以脱离这些一切痛苦，所以它就是生死甘露就是灭死的圣甘露一样的然后我们在这个轮回里面比如说在恶鬼道里面的众生就是常常就是几个劫多少劫之间没有吃的没有喝的，只是饥渴的这样的痛苦。但是呢，我们如果修了菩提心的话，可以脱离这里的这些一切痛苦，所以它是这个解除贫穷的这个无尽藏一样的那我们在这个六道轮回里面，以五毒贪嗔痴慢疑的这个五毒就是一天24小时不停的被这些五毒就是这个折磨的这个病，我们如果修持菩提心的话这个菩提心就可以解除这些病。所以呢，菩提心是不可思议的。当我们如果真正的兴起一个菩提心的话，这是无价之宝。
For example, in the realm of samsara, there are millions of life and death that occur, such as beings enduring these life, coming alive and dying. So, and if we're able to have bodhicitta, then we can be free of such suffering. So, just like a tutsi that can eliminate the suffering of the death and the life and death. And also in the preta realm, that for many kalpas, these pretas, they are without food and drink. They are continually to suffer endure the suffering of hunger. However, if we are able to have bodhicitta in our mind stream, we can be free from this kind of suffering. So this is like an inexhaustible treasure. And also in the realm of samsara, as we continue to be afflicted by the illnesses of the 5 poisons, every day these 5 poisons are torturing us. If we have bodhicitta in our mind stream, then we're able to eliminate these illnesses just like a great potent medicine. So thereby, bodhicitta is something that's truly inconceivable. It is an immeasurable treasure.
被为博士图众生修气术复是从苦桥度众离恶趣这个菩提心呢，又是像一棵树一样的树影。如果是众生我们在一个非常非常很热的一个地方，太阳照的很热的地方，那很热的时候，如果有一棵大树在下面可以躲一些阴凉的话，会很舒服一样的道理，我们在这个六道轮回里面被这个五毒的烦恼照得很热很烫的过程当中，我们当相续当中升起了这个菩提心的话，就像那个树影一样的可以帮我们遮这个就是烦恼的这些就是这个痛苦。
And also continues to read, it is the tree of the rest for being exhausted from wandering on the pathway of mundane existence. It is the universal bridge for all travelers on their crossing over a miserable state of existence. So bodhicitta is also like a tree that if there's somewhere that's very hot, and if there's a large tree in that area, that we're able to stay underneath the tree and cool off. That would be something very relaxing. Likewise, in samsara, we are constantly enduring these sort of like the hotness or the suffering of the 5 poisons. And bodhicitta is like a tree that is able to cover us from these suffering and allow us to be free from them.
必是除烦热东升新明月，复是璀璨日，能取无知埋事办正法乳所除妙醍醐。这里就是3个例子。第一个是月亮比如说像热带地方，像印度这样的很热的时候呢，当晚上月亮出来的时候，大家都在外面散步逛街因为月亮下面不热嘛，很凉快很凉爽菩提心呢就是这样的就是举的例子。然后呢就是这个这个太阳就是把这些我们如果是很浓的这样的雾就是照的时候呢，我们看不清楚周围。那如果是有很大的阳光的话，可以照明这些是这样的。就是举的例子，菩提心呢就是如同这个太阳和月亮一样的。然后是体板正如我们比如说我们所说的酥油就是 butter， butter 是从哪里来的呢？就是牛奶，说从牛奶一直搅到最后，牛奶的精髓是什么？就是 butter。所以呢，一切法的精髓是什么呢？就是菩提心啊。所以呢，以前就是多个劫之间，很多的诸佛菩萨们就讨论了很长的时间，就说度化众生、利益众生最好的方法是什么？最后大家的结论就是菩提心。菩提心是对众生最有帮助的、最有力量的所以呢，这就是举的例子，就是把所有里面的最好的那个牛奶里面的精髓就是那个 butter 所以呢，一切法里面的精髓就是菩提心这样。
And it continues, it is the rising moon of the mind that soothes the mental afflictions of the world. It is the great sun dispelling the darkness of the world's ignorance. It is the fresh butter formed from churning the milk of Dharma. So here there's three metaphors. The first one is the moon. Like places like India, when it's very hot, when the moon comes out, then that's when people come out and go on the streets, etc. Because at that time it's something very relaxing and very comfortable. So Bodhicitta is just like that. And also the metaphor of sun, that if there's a dense cloud, it's as if you're not able to see through the cloud, then the great sun, having the sun is able to dispel the darkness with the cloud. And then the metaphor of fresh butter, that butter, it comes from churning of the milk. It is the essence of the milk. Likewise, the essence of the Dharma teaching is Bodhicitta. Because in many kalpas before, many Buddhas have talked about or discussed what is the most effective way to benefit sentient being, and such method is the Bodhicitta. So here, the example is compare the essence of milk, which is butter, and to compare to the essence of Buddha Dharma teaching, which is Bodhicitta.
然后这里说，与诸漂泊客欲享福乐者，此心人主必领住最胜乐就是在这个三界轮回的过程当中的一切众生想要享受快乐的话，这个菩提心是最殊胜的。所以呢就是应该来手持这个菩提心，这个可以满足一切众生的这些贵客的。
And here it reads, for the caravan of being traveling on the path of mundane existence and starving for the meal of happiness, this is the feast of happiness that satisfies all sentient beings who have come as guests. So here it says that Bodhicitta is the sole thing that can be able to satisfy all the hunger, craving for happiness.
然后最后就是领他欢喜今欲护主前严重为上宾宴享成佛乐普愿皆欢喜这里就是引请一切护主诸佛菩萨在你们的面前呢，我做一个供养。做的供养是什么呢？今天因为我发了这个菩提心，我变成了佛子以后呢，我可以就是让一切有情众生得到快乐所以呢，就在这里面把这个就是在你们的面前呢做着供养，请大家呀，就是心生欢喜这样。
And then it says to bring joy of others. It says, reads, today I invite the world of Sukatahood and temporal happiness. May the gods, asuras, and others rejoice in the presence of all the protectors. So here is that to make an offering to all the Sugatas or all the Buddhas that now that have aspired Bodhicitta become the child Buddha. So thereby I will vow to bring sentient being happiness. So please all come rejoice and in the present to have joy in this.
所以呢，这以上呢，我们就是讲了怎么样受持菩提心的部分所以呢，在这里呢，大家要再次的复习我们受菩萨戒的这些戒条，然后受菩萨戒的这个方法，然后呢，受菩萨戒的这个条件这些我们的一一的复习，然后呢，我们受菩萨戒。当我们真正的有了菩提心，受了菩萨戒的话，我们今生没有比这个更重要的事情了，这是非常非常重要的今天我们在这里只是 下面的这些我们就是简单的讲了一点点，提了一点点而已。但是真正来说的话，我们菩萨能够在相续当中升起菩提心的话，这是非常非常了不起的一件事情，是可以利益自己也利益他人，然后呢我们今生来世都能够有利益的一件事情，这是非常非常殊胜的。我们在相续当中没有升起菩提心的话，其他的法我们就没有了。我们所说的大乘的法，菩提心的基础上，然后我们再是升起次第圆满、次第大圆满法。但是呢，菩提心没有的话，以上的法我们是不可能会有的不可能会有的如以前的一些高僧大德们曾经讲过，就是古代的有些修那个升起次第，修到最后变成魔王的有，为什么呢？因为他们没有菩提心。所以我们要真正的如理如法的最后修的话，一定要有菩提心说没有菩提心，我们就是真的是往上爬不上去了。但是有了菩提心你就真的是在其他任何的证悟都没有关系，有了菩提心已经都是很大的成就了。
So here we have talked about how to arouse, uphold Bodhisattva precepts, and here we need to continue to review the precepts, the Bodhisattvas, the methods, the criteria. These are things that we must review, and then from there, then we can receive the Bodhisattva precepts. Once we have received the precepts, then there is nothing else more important than this in our life. So here we have already gave a brief introduction on in order by arousing bodhicitta in our Mindstream, that is something of a true accomplishment, because it can benefit our own self as well as others. It is beneficial to our life and then the next life. In our Mindstream, without bodhicitta, then no other practice will be successful. It is with the basis of having bodhicitta, then we can able to be successful in practicing generation and completion phase practice as well as a dzogchen practice. So thereby, again, without bodhicitta, none of these would be a full work. Great Master have said that there are those that before that practice generation phase practice, but they practice that, and the result is that they have become a demon. That is because they lack the bodhicitta in their practice. So thereby, in order to truly able to attain genuine positive results, in our practice, we must have bodhicitta. With bodhicitta, we're able to climb, continuing on in our path. But and also, if you have bodhicitta, if you're truly able to have a bodhicitta in your mind stream, and there's no other realization, then that is okay, because the bodhicitta itself is already a truly great accomplishment.
所以呢，我们作为一个修行人的话，我们就是不但是要闻思，而且要真正的实修。实修的意思是什么呢？实修的意思就是真正的我们看一下我们听到的那些东西我们听到的这些所有的教法，可不可以把它用在我们的生活当中。这是非常重要的。有些时候我们佛教的团体里面的就是怎么说呢就算是已经修行佛法，说进入佛门了很多年，但是呢有些言行然后就是行为这些都是好像很不如理不如法的，这样在佛教团体里面有这样的事情。所以这样的事情为什么会发生呢？就是因为没有真正的去实修。因为自己没有真正的去实修的时候的话，就算是变成了佛教徒几十年，也跟一般凡夫人是没有任何的差别，有些时候甚至比一般凡夫人还要糟糕的也有。不管是修养方面上也好，言行方面上也好，然后就自己的动机方面上也好，比一般的人糟糕的都有所以呢，这个就是不是怪佛法，这是怪个人因为我们个人没有按照佛法里面去做的时候的话在听闻多久都没有用所以呢，我们要真正的把这些法听了以后，就是常常要拿来观察自己，然后呢，常常拿来看自己能不能够做得到。我们真的除了 就是讲法的上师那就是因为有这个责任给大家讲，你们要这样做，你们要那样做。那在其他的话没有那个义务，也没有那个责任。那最重要就是要观察自己我这个言行好不好，我这样做有没有对我在这个佛经里面这样讲的上师这样讲的，我有没有做到要常常的自己观察自己这样一来的话呢，我们的修行才有慢慢的进步，到了最后我们才会变成一个真正的是里外都柔和的一个人当你里外都柔和的一个人变成的话，你真正的是进入了一个真正的所谓的修行者在这样的基础上那我们再继续努力的话，才真正的有一些这个成就了。要不然的话，我们听了，然后呢，就是也没有花时间自己去实修，然后听完了就扔到一边，然后呢，不但是扔到一边，而且呢，就是不但是自己不修，而且呢，把听到的这个法常常去来照别人那看别人的镜子这个人没有做到那个人没有做到那样。如果是这样的话，真的是完全我们的就是事情就颠倒了所以呢，我们要真正的这些一步一步的自己实修，真的非常重要。
So as a Dharma practitioner, it is not only important to learn and contemplate, but truly engage in the practice. What does it mean by truly engage in the practice? It means that we need to put into practice what we have heard, what we have received, whether we can apply the teaching to ourselves in our daily lives. There are actually nowadays there are people in the many Buddhist groups, although they may be a Buddhist practitioner or a Buddhist for many years, however, their actions and their words are not very are not really reflecting or according to the teachings itself. And why does that kind of happen? Because there's no actual engaging of these practice of these teachings. Without engaging practice of these teachings, even though if you are a Buddhist for many years, then you are no other different from a mundane person. Sometimes you may be even worse, whether it's your attitude, your sense of culture, etc. So here, you cannot really blame Buddha Dharma for that, but you can only put the responsibility on individuals, for individuals that did not adopt or apply Dharma teaching into themselves, to their own lives. So it doesn't matter how much you have heard. What's important is that we need to take what we have heard and what we have listened to apply to our own self and see how much we can do. As a guru or Dharma teacher, the responsibility is to give Dharma teaching, and there's really nothing else other than this. So it's really up to our own self to observe ourselves, whether we are able to apply the teaching ourselves, our own selves, and see how much we can do with what we have learned. And then, as we continue, it's only then that we're able to progress and become a flexible person inside and outside. And it's by then you'll become a truly genuine practitioner, and with that as a basis, you will then be able to attain accomplishments. Otherwise, even though we have learned so many teachings, once we have listened to them, we just set it aside, then that's not really useful. And not only it's not useful for us, we also, if we use it to judge and criticize other people, then that's really completely opposite of what our intended to do. So therefore, it is actually very important to really put into practice of what we have learned.
然后我们要知道我们的这个生命是无常的，所以呢，我们听了这样的法，我们有这么好的机会的时候，真的要花一点时间真正的花一点时间花一些精力，然后呢，在这个修行上面呢一切都是无常的，现在尤其是更加的无常，因为让我们这个死亡的这个外在的这个因缘越来越多了越来越多，所以呢我们就是什么时候会离开这个世界完全不知道所以呢，我们在有空的一天，有机会的时候，那我们就真的要抓紧时间要实修了，要不然的话，我们的时间一天一天的，一个月一个月这样过去，有时候我回头想一下都蛮可怕的，一年好像一下子就过去了。那一年过去，等于就是你的生命已经减少了一年呢，就是这是很可怕的一件事情。 好像小时候觉得时间过得很漫长，好像很喜欢要长大，但是好像永远都长不大这样。但是现在来看一下时间，一下子就过去了1年，一下子1年就没有了，所以是非常可怕的。如果我们不自己就是好好的利用自己现在拥有的这个时间去修行的话，当我们真正的觉得我现在才开始修行的时候，也许会太晚了，也许就没有时间了，也许来不及了所以呢，在今生的时候，有时间的时候，我们就不要浪费太多的时间。当然我们在生活当中有些时候想放松一点呢然后给自己轻松一些，这个是有必要的，大家都在工作，但是呢不要过度的常常在自己只要有时间就是去玩然后就是耍或者是看电影看电视等等的，不要常常浪费在这样的时间，这样的话我们就真的浪费了自己的暇满人生然后呢我们就要平衡自己的这个时间了然后也过度的就一点都不休息，然后修法的话，也许有一天好像就是完全反弹，就是完全会变得不想修行了，这样也不行。然后这完全放松也不行所以呢就是平衡一下，然后修行太累的时候自己休息一下，放松一下这样的话会让你说下一次还继续修的这样的念头，因为我们是凡夫人所以呢这样，然后就是在这样平衡自己的时间，平衡自己的这个修行就不断的提升自己内在的这个修行，这是非常重要的。
And we need to really know that our life is really impermanent. And then when we have such opportunity, we need to take the time and effort into our path of practice. Everything is impermanent now, even more so because the things that cause death are more and more prominent in our world now. So when will we leave the world, we have no idea. And so therefore, whenever we have the free time and opportunity, we really need to take that time and engage in practice and really not, or else it will be just go by day, month by month. Sometimes when I look back, it's scary to notice how the year has went by already. That really means that your life has shortened by another year. So it seems like when we are little, that time goes by very slow and we want to grow up as fast as we can. But nowadays, it seems like the time's going by really fast year by year. If we do not take advantage of our time, then by the time you feel like, now I want to practice, but at that time, there may not be enough opportunity or free time for you, or it was too late. So thereby nowadays, now that we have time or opportunity, we must not waste them. Of course, sometimes we need to relax. It is actually necessary when we have work and etc. But we really should not overly exert our own free time to just simply play, watch movie, TV, etc. If so, then we will be really wasting our advantageous human life. We really must strive for a balance such that if we practice all the time and not rest, then that will not do us good, because someday we may just say we will never practice again. But on the other hand, to just simply relax all the time and not engage in any practice, that would not work either. So thereby, it is okay to have relaxing time, because that will be necessary, allow us to motivate to continue the practice next time. So thereby, it's really important to have balance, and so that we able to enhance our inner quality.
所以现在我们在这边的道友们，大家都是我们早上讲的一样，都有暇满得到了这个暇满的人生所以我们要真正的利用这个暇满的人生。后来我在想，我们的这个课程变成这样，我觉得是更好这样我们的话就是早上来修然后下午讲课，这样的话我们真正的是闻思修都有了，这样的话我们一点一点的，不管怎么样，一定会有一点点进步的不可能一点进步都没有吧所以一定会有一点点进步的然后呢，今天的这个课程里面，我们讲让我们升起菩提心的因素说多积累资粮，多闻大乘佛法，所以我们要积累资粮。我们这里条件也这么好像我们这样的这边的佛堂里面的，你看我们有这么多的唐卡法像，尤其是今年我们请到法王如意宝的蜡像，就好像法王如意宝真正 坐在我们这个佛堂里面一样的，这是一个非常殊胜的一个圣地所以在这里我们可以做礼拜，我们可以供花供水，然后就在这里面就是一心一意的做3个礼拜的那个功德质量也是不可思议的所以呢我们这里的条件非常非常好所以我们在这里的话大家都尽量的就是积累资粮、忏悔业力、打坐、念咒、修行的闻思就是做哪一个方面我们能够做的，大家都尽量的努力的去做。
So here, many Dharma friends, as we taught in the morning, that we truly have this, what we refer as the advantageous human life. So thereby, we must utilize this human life to its full potential. And now I think that with our class schedule, that's what's changed. Now I feel like it's even better because we're able to engage in actual practice in the morning and learn the teachings and learn and contemplate this teaching in the afternoon. And so I believe with this schedule, there will be even just a little progress in our path that will definitely be there. And also, we mentioned in this text the factors to arouse bodhicitta, such as accumulating merits, listening to Mahayana teaching, etc. So here, really, the opportunity to accumulate merits here is really special and sacred because in the shrine room, we have many tankas, many statues. Especially this year, we have invited His Holiness Drimed Rinpoche's wax statue. This is just the same as His Holiness sitting in the shrine room with us. This place has truly become a sacred place that we are able, if we're able to offer flower, water, with just do 3 prostrations with genuine devotion will allow us to accumulate inconceivable merit. So here, whatever which method we engage in, whether it's meditation, practice, recitation, mantra, anything that we must strive to do these things.
所以我们如果是在家里或者在别的地方自己念一些经，或者做个礼拜，或者修这个法，或者是这样，跟来这个佛堂是不一样的。我们这里今天讲，我们受菩萨戒，在有殊胜的加持力的佛像这样的面前受菩萨戒，可以得到菩萨戒。那我们这里的话有这么殊胜的对境在这里这样殊胜的对境面前，我们就是安安静静的一心一意的念诵一遍普贤行愿品的这个功德都不可思议的这里面的愿力都是不可思议的，所以我们这里有这么殊胜的对境然后呢，访问如意宝的这个蜡像来了之后，我们这里不断的常常在这个供花就是烟真的是很棒他自从这里就是以前是静常常做帮我们供花这样在这里，然后后来静没有空，现在就是燕在供花，所以常常在这里我们有这么漂亮的花这是供这个佛的所以呢这也是非常殊胜的。我们后面我就是我们放了一个袋子，就是供花的钱，如果大家多少都可以，就是一心一意的放个几块钱、20块钱、30块钱在那里面。我们这里常常有人帮忙，就是去用这个钱去买花，然后供佛，这是多么殊胜的一件事情呢！所以呢，我们这里的要积累资粮条件也是非常好所以呢，大家就是尽量的，我们利用我们的有一些资金，或者利用我们的一些时间来了，真正的不要就来利用这个暇满的人生积累资粮这样修行佛法。
So if we're to engage in practice such as reciting sutra or doing prostration and elsewhere, whether it's our home and somewhere else, but it's really different to do so here in the shrine room because as well, especially today, we learn about receiving Bodhisattva Precept in front of statues of immense blessing. So here, with such sacred subject, even we just solely focus on reciting the Kingdom Noble Prayer, such merit is truly inconceivable. Ever since the statue has arrived, there has been a non-stop offering of flour and water, and really Yan has really done a great job. It used to be Jing that's doing the flower offering, but now Yan has taken over and continued to offer these beautiful flowers continuously. And also in the back of the shrine room, there's a bag that says for the contribution for flower. And so if you can, it can be any amount, whether it's $1, $5, or just $20, that you can always contribute in, because there'll be always people buying the flowers as offering here. So again, the opportunity for you to accumulate merit here is truly wonderful and very good. So if you can utilize whether it's your wealth or your time to really use this advantages of the human life engage in Buddha Dharma practice, and that'll be great.
然后我们在这个佛堂，我们要就是大家已经都弄得非常好，这地面呢各方面都非常的干净，这些供品是非常殊胜。哎呀，我们的供花的、供灯、供香的，像陀利萨啦、初音啦等等班啦，我们的秋本们全部都在这里，大家都是做得很用心，发心很纯净，做事都做得非常的干净。我们一定要去维持这样的一个现状因为我们这个佛堂是非常神圣的所以除了这个之外，我们在佛堂里面的话，我们平时就是课前课后也是在这里，比如说聊天大声讲话这些，我们都最好就是不要在佛堂里面，有可能性的话到厨房要谈一些别的事情的话，图书馆这边去，就是把这个佛堂我们就一定要当做一个非常神圣的一个地方在这里就是大家都可以身心都可以安静下来一到这里的话就是心里就是只有佛法没有别的就是像这么神圣的一个地方我们要就是这样的一个念头，这样的一个发心就是以后要维持这样。
And then in this shrine room, everything is really very spotless, very clean the floor, as well all these offerings, they're very well placed. This great effort done by Teresa, April, as well as Ben, and also all the childrens. Everybody really has put in great effort in their work, and we really must continue in this fashion, because the shrine room is something that's very sacred. And so thereby we need to pay attention that even before and after class, we try to refrain from speaking loudly or at the shrine room or speaking about non-Buddhist things. If it's for something else, they can always go to the library or the kitchen to engage in conversation. And we must try to consider the shrine room as a sacred place, because it really allows us to have peace in my body, speech, and mind, and that you come to this shrine room only for the purpose of Buddha Dharma and nothing else.
所以呢，我们以后就是只要一进入这个佛堂，我们就是心就是安静下来，心里就是只有佛法只有这样的一个动机或心态，这样的话，我们永远都在佛堂里面，我们都就是一个非常干净的不只是我们所谓的这个外面的干净，大家的心里面都是干净的。这样的话，我们每一次在这里修的法，大家也是会很舒服、很清净。我们就是里清净，里面也清净，外面也清净就是这样。
So whenever we enter this room, we will be able to become very peaceful, and we only come to this room for the purpose of Buddha Dharma. And with such motivation in mind, they really allow us to be pure, not only on the outside, but also in our mind. And so that whenever we engage in practice, it will be very effective, such that it will be pure and soothing from the inside as well as the outside.
如果是我们维持这样的现状的话，就以后不管任何人，比如说是要上课的时候，他早来的话，他直接进来就在这里可以打坐，因为不会有人打扰。然后就是课完了以后，自己想坐一会儿也可以自己打坐，因为不会有人打扰，所以就变成一个任何时候都这个佛堂就是一个修行的地方这样。
And so if we're able to continue on this fashion, then if it's for class, if they're able to come early before the class, then they can meditate here and no one will disturb them. If it's after class, then they can also meditate here because they will not get disturbed as well. So this is what we try to achieve for.
所以呢，我们在这边的就是做事的道友们，到今天为止真的非常的棒，所以我们一定要维持这样的大家在这里供灯供花做事的事情，大家都是安安静静的做，然后大家都不讲话，就是 我觉得非常非常的好，就是非常谢谢大家就是安安静静的每一个人在做自己的工作这样。
So for those who are contributing their effort in maintaining this place up to today, this is really a great job, whether it's offering and other things. So I think it's very, really good. And I want to thank all of you for your contribution in your doing your responsibility in a really, really quiet and peaceful fashion.
就是不只是这里做事的事情，所有的在中心我们的金融中心的发心的就是所有的道友们做事都是真的是发自内心的在帮忙做所以这个一方面呢是你自己真的是有福报，然后你自己的发心动机能够这样去做事，是你自己积累资粮。另一方面的话，这是真正的对弘法利生事业都是很大的帮助。如果我们在一个团体里面做事的时候，打自内心的去做的时候，这个是任何人都可以感受到的所以当别人感受到了你的这种慈悲或你的这种纯洁的这种心的时候呢，是会这个感染力比你讲10几20遍都有用所以呢这个是非常好的所以这个的话就是也是自利利他所以就是在这里顺便就要非常的谢谢所有的道友们。
Not only those who are regularly participating in maintaining the shrine room, but also all the Dharma friends who have made their contribution to this place, because all of you have done so in a really genuine, pure motivation. One hand is your own merit that you're able to engage in such activity with pure motivation. On the other hand, it has really a great benefit and great help to the enlightened activity of benefiting sentient beings. Whenever you are doing something genuinely in a group, this is something that can be felt by other people, such that people will feel your pure motivation and your dedication. It is much better than just saying many other words. So here, I will also just want to take this opportunity and thank all the Dharma friends for your contribution.
那今天呢就讲到这里。
So here.